we see the other map where it's just a lot of horizontality. yeah, the walls, they
coast
move.
to coast, left, yeah, true. I think that's not the Super Soldier Factory. We have yet to get into this, but I do see in chat Luca Vargas saying if they make a flying tank, then that'll be my favorite. I don't know if that's gonna be possible.
Well, that even
or how the balance. I can't think of I don't know if they give the thing like magical abilities for fly. That would be crazy.
Hey, we got Doctor Strange as a flying tank, albeit he only flies for a
you're
good
right.
10 seconds.
You're right.
He does fly for a good 10 seconds. I am a strange main.
That is your favorite tank.
I am a strange main. So, you know, those good times where you just fly in front of a hella ultimate. You know, those are good times.
You feel like you're defending like a.
You're just holding the fort, holding the dam. Yeah. But either way, we are underway in this map number 1 of game number 1 between Crazy Raccoon and Dopamine. Dopamine, we talked about this. They like using the Strange Portal in your face, but it looks like they're not going to do it in your face. You're just going to use it to get quick control, quick access to the main site.
Watch out for JT3. He's already setting a flank. And look at that. Rocco and Onse taking out 2 already from Crazy Raccoon. And just like that, Rocco able to take out Ripasuko. So what a takedown here by Dopamine to be able to get the capture onto the Johnny Store.
Oh my gosh. Rocco, chill. The game just started, man. And you're already popping off with a triple elimination. And that is going to be absolutely crazy.
Rocco, Wolverine maxing, bro. That's how you play Wolverine with the kidnaps, the 3-piece, and now he's going to try to set up a flank here as they try to retake the high ground. But can he be able to do it, though? We do see that the front lines are pushing. JT3 here trying to go for the back lines of Dopamine while they still fight for the high ground.
It does seem like Crazy Raccoon are a bit separated right now. There's a few members on the right side and a few members on the left. We'll see if they're able to make a pincer move as Rebirth is able to open up the bank for Crazy Raccoon. But for now, the control is heavily in favor of Dopamine. But with those picks, is a 1-for-1 trade overall. Onse still needs to run to the site as JT3 will do the same. As we do see a 1v1 in the skies. And it does seem like Ray will reign supreme as the ultimates do pop in, as Solman does burn the invisible domain.
Popping off the dance of the butterflies there. Unfortunately, unable to take anyone down. And now invisible boundary right there at the room area. And Dopamine still reigning supreme here on the point. And we do have Supermova already called on point, as well as the Meteor M and the Eye of Agamotto.
Oh my goodness,
but
so
the
much.
sustain on the side of Crazy Raccoons, they're still all alive.
Yeah, they're still all alive, but Ray is going to say something about it. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade overall for now, but Solman is dangerously low. Will finally get taken down by Hyon. But right now, Crazy Raccoon, they are in a commanding position to try to find a way to get back. But Ray, he is going absolutely ballistic right now, trying to fly away to gain a bit of that extra HP thanks to the Fantastic Four team-up, but isn't able to land the mark onto Hyon, who is dangerously low and has to run for the hills. But Vital and JT3 will finally shut down Dopamine's... That was one hell of a run. Yeah, but the Spider-Man... Oh my gosh, just landed. Oh, it got a bit messy, but we got to work in the end. Dance of the Butterfly will zone the rest of Dopamine even further. And Crazy Raccoon, albeit be very, very labored, will finally get control.
The way that the Crazy Raccoon was able to manage the onslaught of damage coming from Dopamine, and Ray needs to calm down with the way he was using that Human Torch, but now the Human Torch actually getting flanked by Hyon. Hyon with this amazing Dance of the Butterflies really staggered the team for them to even touch this point. So next team fight's gonna come in. JT3 does have his ultimate. Everyone is still starting to gain it back. So next team fight is gonna be very pivotal if Crazy Raccoon still wants to hold on to point. We see the Freedom Charge already popped here.
Yeah, right now, Dopamine are in a good spot in terms of ultimate checkpoints, but a great shove coming in. Solman is able to push JT3 into the depths of hell. Meteor M going to be popped, but right now, the ultimate bank is in favor of Dopamine, especially with Solman getting the early invisible domain down in the fight, and it just allows Dopamine to get control as the overtime meter is live, but Onse What can he do here? He just needs to zone the rest of the team. Crazy Raccoon, can they go for a desperation play? But it doesn't seem likely as Dopamine gained control of the choke point. And that's the first round to Dopamine.
The way that Dopamine was able to capture that point up until 99%, it was an excellent strategy being employed there with how well they took the high ground. We talked about what Onset does, right? Takes the high ground, and it seemed like they were more moving as a unit. While you pointed out, Dan, that Crazy Raccoon seemed a bit spread out in the process. I think maybe they leaned a little too heavy on the JT3 dive. And it seems like the pickoffs on Ray's side and Rocco were just so good. So they really got a lot of return when it came to the Human Torch and the Wolverine. The question is, can Dopamine continue on in this next map? There can be some interesting plays here as the stage keeps shifting back and forth. And I wonder if Ripasuko is really going to let this penny rock.
Yeah, something also worth mentioning. You do see it before the round even begins. Both teams getting that bonus HP down with the rocket, and some using the Penny Parker team up ability as well, try to get that extra bonus HP down, as Onse doing his usual strat of teleporting into your face as we do fight immediately.
And that's the thing, they've already gained so much ground here, forcing the team to not be on point. Onse reposition here. There's that flying tank we're looking for. But it seems like Psylocke has other plans here. High-End wanting to be able to clip Onse. Supernova is going to get called and forcing out the Meteor M for defense here. Trying to get the dunk. Welsh Corgi taking out Rebirth while we continue on with more damage from Ray, forcing out the defense ultimate. And Crazy Raccoon's going down one by one.
It's an absolute massacre in favor of Dopamine. Just absolutely wiping out Crazy Raccoon. And they need to run for the hills immediately. The play of Onse just getting into your face, getting that extra ultimate points down, and it allows Ray and the rest of the team to just charge it up and charge through Crazy Raccoon. As we do take a quick a quick look at the ultimates available for both sides. It's heavily in favor of Dopamine right now. Solman already having the invisible domain. Dance of the Butterfly is going to be used, but the invisible domain is already available, and it might just catch Crazy Raccoon off guard here. But what comes next in this fight? Crazy Raccoon, they're long ways away from getting any sort of ultimates down, as the last stand is going to be popped, but Hyon is able to take out the Human Torch of Ray as he keeps going forward. And it doesn't seem like the lack of strategist ultimates is going to affect any of these teams too much, as Vital with the double kill. Double elimination, I'm sorry. But JT3 able to clean it up. And now Crazy Raccoon, they are able to clap back relatively earlier in this time.
Yeah, Hyan really doing God's work here with Psylocke, able to get the really good pickoffs, even though the Dance of the Butterflies was countered by the invisible boundary. They didn't really need any more ultimates. They just relied on really good positioning and really good mechanical skills for them to click heads. Now, it's Dopamine to try to go for a retake here. We do see JT3 popping the Freedom Charge to try and push and disperse Dopamine while they're still trying to gain a lot of ground and also getting so much value here. The Crazy Raccoon winning this next team fight. There are no ultimates that are going to be gained by Dopamine.
Yeah, this is looking dire for Dopamine right now. Crazy Raccoon, look at how many ultimates are available to them. Vital with the Supernova, both strategists having their own ultimates as well. And on the side of Dopamine, all you got is an Eye of Agamotto. Yes, you have Felix at 82%, Solman at 58%, but Felix needs to find ways to charge it up before the second onslaught of Crazy Raccoon comes in, as Dopamine is able to find some sort of pick here, as JT3 is able to trade it back. It's going to be a 1-for-1 overall for the time being. Vital using the Supernova to try to zone the rest of the team, but is able to get away, but the damage over time onto Ray is going to be enough. But the Eye of Agamotto, will it be valuable? We'll see, as another 1-for-1 trade, but Hyon wants to make it a man advantage for Crazy Raccoon. Does have the Dance of the Butterfly. Will probably use it very, very soon, as he doesn't even use it to take down Felix.
Yeah.
But Crazy Raccoon, a great response coming in this round number 2, and it all seems likely with the amount of ultimates available.
And it seems like they might have, Onse might have to portal in, but like you said, they're holding on to a lot of ultimates here. And now Supernova, but Dance of the Butterflies in response, forcing out Ripasuko to go for the Meteor M to try and capture all this damage. No dunk onto anyone since there is the Fate of Both Worlds that is keeping everyone alive. Felix still holding on, but Hyan taking out Soulman in the process.
Hyan needs to finally reposition. That was a great... he got lucky there, Hyan, with the walls moving up and down, is able to find the isolated kill onto Felix, I think, as Rocco with the adjustment onto the Bucky is going to work out for them as Ripasuko is going to fall as JT3 up next, but oh my goodness, Dopamine are able to use the Desperation Teleport, but that's something worth mentioning though. You know that this portal is going to be a big cooldown. If Crazy Raccoon are able to turn this fight, able to turn the point into their favor, that's going to matter when we go into this round number 3, but we'll see if it matters too much as JT3 is going to be the main initiator of this fight.
Go, final seconds, able to touch point here, and now force the overtime. This is the last team fight. They need to be able to last, and JT3 trying to disrupt the backline. Back to Onse here at the center, able to take out Hyan. So that is actually the first. I have Agamotto at the
great
center,
shove.
unable to get anyone. And now we continue on here while Welsh Corgi tries to do cleanup here, and Dopamine continue on. Crazy Raccoons fall left and right for Dopamine to win that clutch second game.
Oh my goodness. There was a world where Crazy Raccoon were able to get themselves back into the fight, but Welsh Corgi with that triple KO was just enough for Dopamine to secure that game number 1. Like, that Crazy Raccoon played that fight absolutely well. The Invisible Woman shove onto the Eye of Agamotto could have been the turning point, but then again, Welsh Corgi was just silently taking out duelists and strategists left and right, and that's going to result in a game 1 victory for Dopamine, who again came from the open qualifiers and are starting to turn some heads right now.
Yeah, I mean,
in the end,
well, Ray was popped off with Human Torch in the previous match and got MVP. So especially in a map like this, the first checkpoint, the Human Torch could set up so much of his fire traps. So we just have to wait and see what they do lock in with, folks. But Crazy Raccoons definitely have to lock in because they want to keep their tournament lives alive here in the group stage between them and Dopamine and push for that game number 5. The question is, can they do it? And can they push the objective far enough for Dopamine to not be able to catch up with them?
Yeah, right now Crazy Raccoon have one loss to their name in which they fell to the hands of Gen G, but Crazy Raccoon, they do have a chance to come back here. This is their map pick. Dopamine, on the other hand, are up one game in this best of 3 as the lights out and away we go. Here we go. Crazy Raccoon on the offensive first as they do approach turn 1, but something different coming out of Dopamine. They're not using that high ground. They're instead just giving Crazy Raccoon a little bit of space, and it'll give them enough space to round that first turn going into the second, and that's where Dopamine are going to show a bit of resistance.
Yeah, actually a little bit late on them holding the point here in the turn, because now the turn has already happened. There's no more high ground advantage, so they don't. It's kind of open grounds at this point. All the Vanguards will have to use their cooldowns to stay alive, but Soulman taking out JT3 in the process. Look at that. Strategist hanging up for a duelist role, and now they're able to push them back towards spawn.
I don't think that was an intentional kill, I'm gonna be honest. Soulman was just trying to keep the team alive. Actually, it was Rebirth, I'm sorry. That was just casually keeping the team alive and just got a random kill. And Soulman will happily take that, and that's going to be some time taken off the bank.
True, but Ripasuko wreaking havoc here on the grounded fight, while Rei is going to really light up the floor here for this Vanguard to have a hard time with. Rei doing a great job, but we actually used the Rage of Ultron on Ribeye side. So can this actually push a little bit of the point here, forcing out the ultimate of Luna Snow? They're still holding on to the Meteor M as well as the invisible barrier on both sides. But Ribeye being taken out by Onse.
Ooh, right, yeah, it's a trade of visible domains. Keep in mind, this convoy is still stuck in the middle of turns 1 and 2, and that's going to cause a lot of chaos right now. Onse and Rocco are going to join forces to get another elimination. 2 more and another to the name of Welsh Corgi as Dopamine. They are holding right now. 2 minutes left on that clock for Crazy Raccoon.
Back and forth we go. The turn is trying to be completed, but Puny Banner shows himself here. So this is going to be a big stagger once they take out Ripasuko. We're going to see a Meteor M dunk.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be on the Bruce Banner.
I was looking at the Willem Dafoe meme. No, please. I thought it was going to be solo ulted, but no. Going for the team, and now the stagger onto Ripasuko. JT3 is the only one that's marching down. We do see that Hyan is going to have to retreat a little bit for them to be able to push towards the point as a team. But Ripasuko back on the Hulk. Let's see if they're going to push past this turn 1.
Quick check on the ultimates available. Dopamine, both duelists having their ultimates up and ready to go. JT3 has a chance to counter that Goddess of Death with the Meteor M.
Uh-oh.
We'll see when JT3 goes for it, but Rocco is able to find a pick onto Hyan. It's going to be an important hold for Dopamine now as they move forward with a man advantage. As Rabbi just casually waiting.
It up.
Ooh, a little bit of an adjustment coming in.
Okay, so they're going to try to go for the Hella mirror match here, but yeah, the way that they were able to catch Hyan overextending there, and now he wins the 1v1. Nice revenge takedown here from Hyan. Rocco's going to have to walk all the way back here. They don't have any Karmic Rebirth, and now let's see. We're still holding true here, forcing out the ultimates here. Hyan trying to pick
Hyan
off
needs to stay
someone,
alive here.
But he does. He definitely does. Felix keeping everyone alive with the fate of both worlds. Welsh Corgi still holding on to the Meteor M, and we do see that they're forcing out the defense ultimates. They're still holding on here. Last 30 seconds, Dan.
Yeah, a little bit of an unlucky ultimate coming in from Onsei with the Eye of Agamotto, but a meteor onto the skies, and Rebai, as soon as he gets out of... actually, it doesn't even seem like Rabbi was able to get the Goddess of Death down. He just went for the bird, went to the air, but the meteor from Welsh Corgi was perfectly placed. A meatball to the face might be enough as the time is going to expire, and maybe Dopamine might have a chance here, but Crazy Raccoon are able to take control as Rabbi, despite getting knocked away from the sky, will clean up house and maybe, just maybe, get that first point.
I think they will be able to get this point unless Onse is able to get a TP going on. He's already used it, but the overtime, they're going to be able to push. No one's going to be able to touch. At least they're able to unlock this first turn. So incredible stuff, but the big stagger, Rocco overextending there, unfortunately. Yeah, the teleport was a little too late. Let's see if anyone's going to touch point here. It seems like they're pushing them towards the spawn location. They've already spent the teleport, though, so are they even going to touch?
Yeah, that's a huge cooldown invested for Dopamine. Onset needs to reconsider his options right now as he is close to that Eye of Agamotto. He is creeping forward. And no strategist ultimates available just yet. Will he go for the Eye of Agamotto? That is the main question as the Meteor going to be used. Onset trying his best to shield it from the team, but it looks like it's just going to be thrown to a random spot as JT3 wasn't able to get value as Soonhoon is able to find a pick early, and that's going to be a man advantage coming in from Dopamine. Keep in mind, Dopamine are on the defensive side, so it's going to take a little bit of extra time to get to that site as the ultimates are getting traded away. There's the Eye of Agamotto onto a few members of Crazy Raccoon. That's going to buy a bit of time for Onse and the rest of Dopamine, but for now, they are still slugging it out. It is going to be a long fight.
Yeah, considering Ripasuko's already used the ultimate of the Hulk, he's going to sustain as much as he can, but, the invisible boundary using to keep Solomon alive and everyone else. Rocco so dangerously close to going down. Goddess of Death to try and interrupt anyone here. Ripasuko is actually going to get taken out, go back to puny banner form, and now we continue on this team fight, but Solomon gets taken out, Ray gets taken out, as well as Rocco. So Crazy Raccoon piling on the damage here, piling on the hurt. Hyan responds, but Welsh Corgi and Onse are the only ones left. No, scratch that. Team fight, quadra kill on the side of Crazy Raccoon.
Great fight coming in from Crazy Raccoon, albeit it was a very, very extended fight. Rabbi, I think, got taken out. No, it was actually Rocco on the side of Dopamine who got taken out of the Goddess of Death ridiculously early. I heard the voice alarm go down, and then 2 seconds later, he was back into his normal form. And now this is the main point coming in for Dopamine. They are able to get through that choke point, which is notoriously difficult if the attackers have control of it. But we'll see, though. Hyan finds an opportunity to go for a pick. No, will back away as a supernova will pop for Rei. But for now, Crazy Raccoon, they need to keep going. They need to keep fighting as Dopamine are clapping back with the Supernova, getting a pick.
This is intense, Dan. We talked about it going down to the wire, but once again, an Eye of Agamotto catching one person, but it is the Magneto, so he can sustain with the fate of both worlds on both sides. Rebirth still has his ultimate. Solomon slowly trying to get his ultimate going, and also has it. Welsh Corgi also has the Meteor M to keep on going, keep everyone alive, but Crazy Raccoon still trying to fight back. We get a Meteor M able to take out Sung Hyun in the process. So could this be the first domino piece that falls? They respond by taking out Solomon.
Yeah, so far, so many trades right now, but it's right now in favor of Dopamine as the overtime meter does start up as Rip Asuko wants to keep the momentum going, needs to stay on the site for the rest of the team to pop up. Great stun coming in onto Ray to buy a bit of time. But for now, Rip Asuko doing so much work right now as Rebai is able to support from the skies with the Goddess of Death as Sungun is able to get the Jeff, is able to get a laser kill onto Ray and Felix. Also going down, Onse with the Desperation Teleport. Rocco with the Adam Warlock is trying to keep his team alive with the Cocoon as well. Will it be enough to deny the second point coming in for Crazy Raccoon? It doesn't seem likely, but JT3 and Hyan are able to clean up house.
Oh my god, they're really pulling out all the stops here. Dopamine with another Desperation Teleport, but it didn't quite work out like they wanted to. The first one was off timing here. They tried to push for that point. Them going for the Jeff is wild, but now we're back to regular scheduled programming here. Jeff is still on vacation, folks. So now a zigzag turn, actually one of the hardest things, one of the hardest points to push here in Yggdrasil for the attackers. Let's see how this approach would be on Crazy Raccoon's side. Rei popping the Supernova just so that he's going to light up the floor here. Let's see if he's going to get any value out of this as he tries to push back here. Crazy Raccoon's backing away just a little bit. It seems like they still have a minute, less than a minute left to try and push for this point to reach 3.
Yeah, they can always just wait out that Supernova, and that's exactly what they do as the Invisible Domain will be popped as the trade, the response coming from Dopamine will be Felix's Fate of both worlds. Both teams doing a good job to not stack their strategist ultimates on top of each other, and that is very, very important if you want to keep that even field for this match, as we do slowly but surely. Crazy Raccoon, they turned the corner, but they have one more corner to cross.
Ayan, going for the backline dance of the butterfly, forcing the shields out of Doctor Strange, and also the invisible boundary on Dopamine side. Hyan, unfortunately, not getting any picks. We do see a dunk on JT3 to take out Felix and Rocco. Eye of Agamotto in response. Still unable to take out anyone. Goddess of Death able to take out Solomon in the process. Crazy Raccoon running wild.
Yeah, this momentum is heavily swinging into Crazy Raccoon. This was a great... They got so much more value from their ultimates when you compare it to Dopamine, as the overtime meter does start up. But for now, Crazy Raccoon in a very, very commanding position. We'll see what Dopamine can do. Can they even get out of spawn? They need to do it now before that convoy moves any closer.
They switch to the thing to give some ground control here. Let's see what Welsh Corgi can do in the process. Rocco, though, gets taken out in the process by Revi. And now Onse's the only one kind of down the fort along with the thing. Let's see. When it comes to ultimates, Rebirth is still able to pop the invisible boundary, trying to take out Adam Warlock. Hyan able to pop off here. And now waiting for him to come back. The 1v1 and now unable to take him out.
Oh my gosh,
trying
this
to get
might
the Pels back and forth. And now Hyan taking out the Adam Warlock.
Yeah, that might be huge here, but the Fate of both worlds is going to buy 12 seconds of time for Dopamine as the rest of the team trying to do what they can, as Dopamine are able to find 3. They're going to find 3 as the overtime meter slowly but surely starts to expire, as the Invisible Domain might just seal the deal here. Crazy Raccoon could not make it, could not finish the job, and they will settle with 2.
The way that they were able to manage the mid game, especially that second checkpoint, was amazing. The way Crazy Raccoon pushed the point. But man, the switch ups constantly with the thing, and also ending up with the Warlock and trying to go for the Guardians team up without the Mantis. That seemed to be the recipe that Dopamine went with for them to gain a little bit of success. Also note that their respawn was a lot closer to point. But man, did they manage to stop the bleeding enough for them to still secure the victory? Or would Crazy Raccoons pop off as they're the ones to be the attackers here at Yggdrasil?
Yeah, we'll see what the plan is here. As far as I know, I believe it's actually going to be Dopamine this time around. on the offensive.
Oh, okay.
We'll see what
Okay, there.
what the adjustment here is. Dopamine doing a good job, like you said, to get that damage control down. Are able to deny Crazy Raccoon of a 3rd point. Will it be enough? Will the defense be enough to either force an overtime, or will we see Dopamine just absolutely steamroll Crazy Raccoon? We have only time will tell, though.
When it comes to the tank, the bans, did they ban out Wolverine? I don't know. Maybe they need. Oh, there you go. Rocco's going Wolverine. Because I think Ripasuko's Hulk is just causing too much chaos in the backlines and just being able to hold the point for so long. So now Dopamine will be the ones to push the point. Seems like Rocco is going to try to set up some flanks. We're going to see that first turn try to come out. The question is, can they do it, or will Dopamine be able to make this turn happen in spectacular fashion that they'll have enough time here?
We'll see, though, as we do round turn 1. Crazy Raccoon doing the same approach as Dopamine did on the defensive side. They don't really opt for the high ground, as the rest of Crazy Raccoon doing their best to hold. Onse is going to get a temporary high ground, but Rabbi doing so much work on this Hello is able to try to get those hit scan onto the flying characters, but it looks like Rocco was able to find a kidnap onto someone.
Kidnap?
But for now,
push to be able to get it. But now trying to go 1v1 with the Hulk, but the Hulk has such a good escape. Tried to use the Magneto bubble just to keep him alive, and Welsh Corgi taking out Rabbi in the process. So not much damage is going to be on the board for Crazy Raccoon to hold this point. Holding for the disappear, the invisible boundary, but Ripasugo taking out Rei Yi. So a trade-off here. Rebirth with the clutch invisible boundary, but Solman in response, forcing him to move away from the objective, and now they've rounded the turn, Dan. Yeah,
they've rounded the turn close and closing in on that first point, but the meteor might be huge. Rebirth gets sent to the sidelines as Sungun does have the fate of both worlds to keep his team alive, but for now, Dopamine have the advantage, and Dopamine will extend it with the last stand. Ray able to clean up with another elimination as Rocco cleans up, and first point over to Dopamine.
Yeah, this allows them 4 minutes on the clock, so that was a lot faster than the previous one. They did not force an overtime, so Dopamine seemed to be a lot more comfortable being the attackers here, and I'd like to point the switch up on Rocco's side, but Ripasuko wants that smoke. He wants to continue on with the Hulk. So let's see if it's going to pay off. Rocco is trying to set up for a flank. He's got to be very careful not to overextend here. Songyun able to heal from the back lines, but the Wolverine could actually try and capture from behind. But Ripasuko with the ultimate of his own, but the Dance of the Butterflies take out Felix and Solman.
Yeah, both of the strategists out of the field. Dopamine have no heals, so this might be a one fight over to Crazy Raccoon, as everyone else will start to stagger. As quick checkpoint with the ultimates, Crazy Raccoon have so much to work with. Dopamine close to many of their ultimates, but Solman just about 7% away. Rei has the Supernova available, but right now this ultimate check is heavily in favor of Crazy Raccoon.
Go. Already using the Supernova here, so they're going to use it offensively to try to push. Unable to actually get the dunk onto the trip up onto the...
Oh, great kidnap!
Wow. Go for it. The way Hyan was able to try and go for that 1-1, but Rabbi taking out Rocco in the process. Incredible pickoffs here on the side of Crazy Raccoon.
Crazy Raccoon, that's how they've been holding. They've been using these picks to their advantage. In a way, that is a way to stagger them. Rabbi holding onto the Goddess of Death. Rebirth and Sunghun have their ultimates available for Crazy Raccoon. And you look on the flip side, Dopamine also have both of their strategist ultimates available, as well as Rocco trying to do what he can to try to find some sort of pick here, but they do crash into each other. A little bit of a rare headbutt as the last stand is available, as the Eye of Agamotto is going to be used as well. But can they get any value? But the Magneto bubble is well timed as Rocco comes out empty-handed with that last stand.
He was able to take out one. It was able to take out Hyan. So Hyan's going to try and get back into this fight. But Dopamine definitely was able to stagger the offense of Crazy Raccoon. Only Ripasuko. But the Hulk could just have so much return when he is actually on the point, but not as Puny Banner. And they take him out as they round out this next turn. Can they actually touch point to force overtime, or will they take this last stand once they hit that third checkpoint?
It looks like Crazy Raccoon might just concede it. It's too much of a task for Crazy Raccoon to try to go for a push, unless they think otherwise as they go in with the Dance of the Butterfly, avoiding that choke point entirely, and allows Rip Asuko a bit of time to just jump in. Crazy Raccoon, they have a chance to hold here, but then again, Dopamine have 2 minutes to work with, so they're happy to take this fight, but for now, they need to do their best to stay alive. Holman able to get a Elim onto Rip Asuko as Rocco wins the 1v1 against High on Welsh. Corgi dumps that momentum further. Ray as well with the double. Felix getting a piece of it as well, and it's almost a team ace for Dopamine.
And the thing is, they have 3 minutes left to work with to try and push past the 3rd checkpoint. And the way that they were able to win that team fight without necessarily getting that much exchanges and also forcing the ultimates out of Crazy Raccoon, they got to build this up once again. Wolverine. We also have the Doctor Strange ultimate already. Felix as well with the Fate of Both Worlds just in case.
Look at On's positioning.
Just adding so much damage. Can he actually get anything
All
out?
eyes are on him. Oh, but a great shove, but still finds a pick onto JT3 from the damage alone. Onse creating so much space, and look at the progress coming in from Dopamine. 2.5 minutes to work with. Rocco with the last stand in front of Crazy Raccoon's spawn. And will that be enough to send them into a 3rd point? Will that be a 2-0 for Dopamine over Crazy Raccoon?
JT3 has to go straight towards the point, but he's gonna get shoved out of it. Oh my god, but he's able to touch and kind of force the point to stop moving. But the thing is that there's not even overtime. Felix forcing out the Fate of Both Worlds as well as the Invisible Boundary on the side of Rebirth. So now this is potentially the last stand on Crazy Raccoon's side. We do have the Supernova ready by Rei. Can he actually take out the strategist on the backline? He's gonna go for the Goddess of Death. Oh, he's gonna
gosh, so much damage!
So much on the board for Rei. He is popping off. Can Dopamine continue on with this process? Taking out Rabbi. They still need to keep going. Rocco staying alive here with the last stand and taking out Sungyun.
Yeah, Sungun going to get sidelined, so will Rabbi, but Rabbi is going to respawn, and this fight is far from ending right now. Rocco doing his best. He's ripping Asuko to shreds as he gets a kidnap onto Hyon. This sequence for Rocco is absolutely flawless, and Ray and crew will find their Dopamine. They find their 3rd point, and it's a 2-0 for them as well.
That was crazy. The way that they were able to just go back and forth like that. I mean, the start, just the overtime being forced out by Crazy Raccoon. It looked really close, but it seems like Dopamine is more comfortable in pushing the objective than defending, just for them to get the 3-2 scoreline. It's still a 2-0. We're still continuing on with this thread, but Dan, I am losing my voice with this.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Dopamine playing out of their minds. Props to Ray, props to Welsh Corgi. These two have been going absolutely ham. Look at the damage charts though. 30,000 on a Magneto is a bit crazy.
Yeah, that's quite unique. And you gotta give it up to Welsh Corgi getting a lot of those 9 final hits, even though Ray did get the 14 and 13. They're the main duelists of this team. But yeah, you don't see that often, this much damage on the board when it comes to Vanguards. Same on the side of Ripasuko and JT3. They really did their jobs very well. Hyan also getting crucial pickoffs when needed, especially in the first half.